Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're going to be doing a reaction and review to the brand new Band-Maid, well, is it brand new if it's only a demo, instrumental, which is called Want More, I believe, if I'm getting that correct, with an exclamation mark and everything. So, as you guys already know, if you've been following this channel for a while, since we came back with our new channel, if you want to watch the reaction that I've just done, open up a separate player to do that. There's a link in the description below, so pause this video and you can watch the reaction now. I'm about to give you the review though, because I've just watched the song, listened to the song, should I say, there's no video. So if you want to, check that out now. Have you heard the reaction? Are you ready for the review? Remember, pause this and press that link in the description below if you want to see me actually do the live reaction. Good, here comes the review. Okay, it was very short. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised if it was a demo. This is one where I think there's a lot of room for them to develop it still. So obviously I'm talking about this tentatively just in its initial impact. Its initial impact on me certainly is the fact that when it came in, I really liked the feel straight from the get-go. Because it's very rhythmic. I thought it was going to go into that sort of, as we've often described, sort of like a tripleted beat. I thought it was going to be more like that. It didn't play around too much with that formula. But it had that feel of being very swingy, of sort of, you know, having an interesting dynamic balance. There was a lot of playfulness in the way that the kick drum and the way that the cymbals were working, so you're getting a lot of movement at the bottom and the top end of the track. It's hard to know how much of the dynamics of the song were down to the fact that it's presumably not been professionally mixed yet. So there's a lot of interesting things, and I think what I'm mostly going to be looking at here is what I would like to see developed on this, what I'd like to see more of, because initially it is really good. As a minute and a half instrument is really good, but it sounds more like an idea than a finished product. It sounds more like we're catching them halfway to completing this instrumental rather than, you know, hearing what they actually want to put out. I imagine with the lockdown situation at the moment with the virus that this is something that they're putting this kind of thing out because it's nice. It keeps the fans entertained. I love that bands are doing this right now. But like I say, we're going to be approaching this very much from the tentative position of what do we think of it at the moment and where do we expect them? Where would I like to see them go with this? First and foremost, like I say, I don't know how much of the mix is down to it being mixed in a relatively presumably amateur way. A lot of the time when you're doing a more amateur mix, what you'll tend to find is the instruments have a more natural sound, which means that the things like bass guitars, they'll all sort of clump together in the middle of the frequency range, and the drum kit will be something that you'll hear either side, and that's very much what we're hearing here. But in a strange way, I like that. Like I say, there is something really cool about the fact that the kick drum has its own clear space in this. It's really clearly underneath everything else, and so that really fun sort of bouncy rhythm to it is coming out great. And like I say, the cymbals at the top are getting a lot of movement as well, so it's making it sound very loud, lively, and with a playful rhythm like this song's got, that's great. On the downside, obviously, it means that a lot of the things in the middle are very clumped together. So like the snare drum doesn't really punch through as much as you'd want it to. The guitars, you can hear some interesting sort of like, there's I often say there's a tangible feel to certain guitar playing when you can really feel the movement of the hands and the strings. It has that tangible feel to it. I really like the way the guitar seems to feel. You can feel a lot of sort of muted strings and things like that. A lot of string noise on it. However, the guitars don't so much separate, you know, with the bass and the guitar all sounding very clumped together in the middle. It's hard to really pick out, for example, where Miku stands between what Konami and Misa are doing, which is often in itself, you know, a very interesting point. They have those sort of three layers to their instrumental, as they should do. The three of them are usually quite distinct in what they're playing. So here it's hard to make out a lot of the detail. However, what we can make out is that it's not too much screaming solos. It's more about sort of riffs, and it's more about energy. It barrels along. As I said, the very first time I ever heard Band-Maid, and I think that was Real Existence, wasn't it? It has a similar quality in that, and it has a sort of Motorhead quality of not being so much about showiness and more about just being able to produce something that is really infectiously energetic, and at the same time with a few changes of rhythm. I love how, as always, one of my favourite qualities about Akane is that she manages to highlight the qualities in what's being played, even if it's simple or even if it's complicated. She manages to know where to change the timing, where to change the rhythm, just to really highlight those qualities. Again, you know, hashtag no bias, but my favoritism has to come down on the fact that I think Akane really does make this song. However, I think Konami does something on here, which again, I said this was a really good quality when I was doing my review of Conqueror, is that often people talk about, oh, what's Konami's best solo? What's Konami's best, you know, bridge? You know, what's the best sort of twiddling that she's done? Actually, I think one of the best qualities of Konami, and I think this is why she's better, I think, as a songwriter than a soloist to me, is when she does songs like this where there is no screaming guitar solo, so to speak, but she can do that Akane-like quality of knowing how to just take the song as it is and highlight everything perfectly without having to be pushed to the front, just knowing how to get the most out of what everyone else is playing. So, I think that there is a lot to be said for that quality, and I think that is on display here. And I think that's why I'd say for a lot of people might think, oh, this is too simple. I actually think that what this is it's a demonstration of maturity. It is something where they have managed to make something very simple that just works and has an immediate, infectious, powerful energy, makes you want to headbang straight off the bat. Now, this is not to say that I don't think it should have a twiddly solo in it. I think there's no problem with that kind of thing. If I do think this deserves to be extended, I think maybe from what is about 1.5 minutes, I think getting it up to 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 is fine if they can do enough creative stuff to fill that in. But the two things I want to see to do that would be, I want to see after we've set this basis, we've built up this basis, and this is what it feels like it is. It feels like it's built up the start of just really sort of, barreling energy. Then, now we've built this up. You can crescendo it with a screamy, twiddly guitar solo if you want to. If it's a guitar solo that really sort of says, okay, now this is me building on top of it. And that's the sort of thing that I think she can do. So I think Konami's started off by building up a real brilliant energy. And I think now she can add a solo to that maybe after this point to now build it up, to elevate, to increase the stakes, so to speak of it. Misa as well. I think that Misa she had her little moments. There were a few little slides and things in there where she was really putting extra feeling into it. But it felt to me like maybe this was a song that Misa hadn't had a huge amount of time to do a huge amount with. I totally do support the idea that for a lot of the songs she's playing a very simple sort of running underneath bass note. That's actually good because, like I say, again, it is kind of good that this song started off with a very simple sort of theory, a simple energy. I do feel though, like I say, they could build this up, and she also, along with Konami, could then sort of free herself to do more stuff that would add, to elevate, to crescendo it. Because with these sorts of things, once you've set that basis, once you know what the beginning is, and once that's in everyone's head, once that's the thing that's going round and round and round, then you can sort of deviate a little bit more from it. And people's heads still know what the basis of the song is, but then you can go more and more crazy. So actually, I think what I'd really like to see from this is them to start it the same way, not really change this first minute and a half at all, but then, okay, now we've got that, now let's add some craziness on the end. Because, like I said, that's what an instrumental's for. Instrumentals where you can really free yourselves. I love it. There's nothing wrong, like I say, with doing something simple. I'm always a great supporter of people who do things that are simple and effective, as you guys know. I don't necessarily think a solo is the way to resolve anything, especially an instrumental, but it can be if it's in the right place. And I think this now is set up for some real crazy virtuoso stuff to happen for about 1 minute. It doesn't have to be over the top. Just a crescendo stuck on the end of this would be brilliant. So I'm really interested to see what Band-Maid do with this. As always, they're really good at finding intricacies, adding to things, making things more detailed, finding every little space in it. I feel like there is a room for that to happen, but I don't want them to just change this bit. I think this bit is a really good energetic start. I think I want them to add not so much on top of this, but after this. Anyway, that's my thoughts. As always, let me know what you think. It's really great to have these conversations. As I said in the reaction, the whole reason we do this is to get the thoughts of you guys. We've checked out every single Band-Maid song ever on this channel before. Unfortunately, most of that's been removed from the internet after we had to restart the channel. But as a result, I think this is interesting to see as an addition. Also really interested to see how they mix and produce the final version, if they do a final version. I'm assuming they would do. I mean, it would be a bit cruel to teaser this and never do anything with it subsequently. But anyway, as always, thank you so much. Get in the comments, tell us what you think. If you want to get more involved in talking to us, the whole community is on the Discord and the Reddit, which is linked in the description below as well as my Facebook and Twitter. And of course, big thank you to our Patreon supporters for keeping the channel alive. Honestly, I couldn't mean that more if I tried. You guys really do keep this thing going. So if you want to join those, if you're not already, then it's much appreciated. Either way, thank you for making it through to the end of the video. And until I see you soon on the next video, hopefully, from Japan. For now, ciao, ciao.